Most people are waiting for a feeling that never stays. They wait to feel inspired. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel ready. And while they wait, life quietly moves on. The truth is uncomfortable, but simple. The people who change their lives don't feel motivated more often. They just do a few boring things every day. This video is not about hype. It's about habits so simple, so ordinary, that most people ignore them. Yet these habits quietly build discipline, focus, and unstoppable momentum. If you stay until the end, you won't just understand why motivation fails. You'll know exactly what to replace it with. Also, there's a bonus at the end of the video, because the fastest progress is built on boring consistency. Most people feel stuck not because they're lazy, but because they're confused. They wake up with ambition, but no direction. They consume content all day, but create nothing. They plan, redesign, and restart again and again. And at night, the same thought returns. Why can't I just stay consistent? You try motivation videos, quotes, podcasts, music. It works for a moment. Then the feeling fades, and you're back where you started. Here's the problem no one tells you. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. Building your life on motivation is like building a house on weather. What you need is not intensity. You need systems. You need habits that work even when you don't feel like it. By the end of this video, you'll have 5 boring habits that remove the need for motivation entirely, habits that quietly compound into massive results. Let's begin with the first habit. The first boring habit is showing up at the same time every day, no matter what. Not when you feel inspired. Not when your mood is right. At the same time, every day. Human brains love rhythm. When an action happens at a fixed time, it slowly stops requiring willpower. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation. You don't negotiate with yourself. You just do it. That's the power of time-based habits. Writers who write at the same hour produce more than writers who wait for creativity. Athletes who train on a fixed schedule outperform those who train when they feel ready. Consistency creates identity, and identity creates discipline. Here's the interrupting question. What would change if your most important habit had a fixed time, not a flexible excuse? The second boring habit is starting ridiculously small. Most people fail because they start too big. They plan 2-hour sessions, perfect routines, extreme schedules, and when they miss one day, the habit collapses. Psychology shows that habits stick when they feel easy to begin. Not easy to finish, easy to start. 5 minutes of focus beats 0 minutes of motivation. 1 page beats no book. 1 push-up beats the perfect workout that never happens. Small actions lower resistance. Lower resistance increases consistency. Consistency builds momentum. This is how progress actually works, quietly. Ask yourself, what habit am I avoiding because I made it too big? The third boring habit is doing the same thing in the same order. Decision fatigue is real. Every choice drains mental energy. That's why successful people simplify their days. Same wake-up sequence, same work order, same shutdown routine. Not because they're boring, but because they protect their focus. When you remove decisions, you remove friction. When friction disappears, speed increases. Your brain doesn't need variety. It needs clarity. Here's the pause to reflect. How much energy do you waste deciding what to do next? The fourth boring habit is tracking progress in the simplest way possible. Not fancy apps, not complex systems, just something visible. A check mark, a line on paper, a calendar crossed out. The brain loves evidence of progress. When you can see it, you're more likely to continue. This is called the progress principle. Small wins create motivation after action, not before. You don't feel motivated to act. You act, then feel motivated. Tracking turns invisible effort into visible momentum. Quiet question. What would happen if you could see your consistency growing? The fifth boring habit is ending the day before you're exhausted. Most people push until burnout. They work until discipline collapses. Then they disappear for days. High performers stop early, on purpose. They leave energy for tomorrow. They protect tomorrow's momentum. This isn't laziness. It's strategy. Stopping while you still have energy trains your brain to return willingly. Burnout trains your brain to resist. Consistency beats intensity every time. Ask yourself honestly, am I quitting because I'm weak or because I'm exhausted? Now comes the mindset shift. Motivation is not the engine. It's the byproduct. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you rely on feelings, your progress becomes unpredictable. When you rely on systems, progress becomes inevitable. Discipline is not force, it's design. Design your life so the right action is the easiest action. The people you admire are not superhuman. They just removed the need to decide. They made success boring, and boring, done daily, becomes powerful. Let's slow down here for a moment. Imagine a version of you who doesn't wait for motivation, who doesn't overthink starting, who simply shows up, does the work, and leaves. There are more habits like this, quiet ones, unimpressive on the surface, but together they change the speed of your life. The sixth boring habit is planning tomorrow before today ends. Most people wake up already confused. They open their phone, they react, they decide on the spot what matters. That confusion drains energy before the day even begins. But when tomorrow is planned the night before, your brain relaxes. Decisions are already made. Resistance is lower. This doesn't require a perfect plan, just a short list. 1 to 3 priorities, written down. When you wake up knowing exactly what to do, momentum starts immediately. You don't negotiate. You don't scroll. You begin. Here's the quiet truth. Clarity feels like motivation, but it's cheaper. Ask yourself, what would change if tomorrow was already decided tonight? The seventh boring habit is doing one hard thing early. Not everything, just one. Procrastination grows when hard tasks are delayed. They sit in the mind like background noise, draining focus all day. But when you do the hardest thing first, something shifts. The rest of the day feels lighter. Smaller tasks stop feeling heavy. Confidence rises quietly. This is psychological momentum. Action reduces fear. The task was never as big as the avoidance. Think of it like this. Fear shrinks in daylight. Pause here and reflect. What is the one task you keep pushing to later? The eighth boring habit is reducing inputs before increasing outputs. Most people want better results, so they add more tools, more information, more advice. But Japanese systems focus on subtraction. Too much input clutters thinking. Too many opinions dilute direction. Before you add something new, remove something old. Less content, less comparison, less noise. Your mind works faster when it's quieter. When inputs reduce, outputs improve. Here's a simple question to sit with. What are you consuming that adds nothing to your life? The ninth boring habit is sleeping and waking at consistent times. This one sounds obvious, so most people ignore it. But consistency in sleep regulates mood, focus, discipline, and energy. When sleep is chaotic, everything else becomes harder. Habits break, focus fades, motivation feels unreliable. You don't need perfect sleep. You need predictable sleep. Same time in, same time out. Your brain loves rhythm, and rhythm creates stability. Stability creates discipline without effort. Ask yourself honestly, is my lack of discipline actually a lack of rest? Now let's zoom out. Notice a pattern. None of these habits are exciting. None make good motivational posters. None go viral. And that's exactly why they work. They don't depend on emotion. They don't require intensity. They don't need willpower. They rely on structure. Here's the mindset shift most people miss. Motivation is unreliable because it asks too much. Habits work because they ask very little. Success is not built by heroic effort. It's built by removing friction. When life feels hard, it's usually poorly designed. Design beats desire. The people who seemed disciplined didn't become stronger. They became simpler. They stopped asking, "Do I feel like it?" and started asking, "What's the system?" And systems don't argue. They run. Let's slow down for a moment. Imagine waking up without confusion, starting without resistance, working without emotional drama. Not fast, not slow, just steady. That's how boring habits change lives. Not in a week, not with excitement, but with certainty. There's one more layer most people never reach. Because by this point, motivation is no longer the problem. What slows people now is friction they don't see. The 10th boring habit is lowering the standard for starting, not for finishing. Most people think discipline means high standards at all times. Your brain links places with actions. Bed equals sleep. Desk equals work. Chair equals thinking. When environments are mixed, discipline collapses. Working in bed, scrolling at your desk, resting where you work. Everything blends. Nothing feels automatic. When you assign one place to one behavior, habits become effortless. The environment cues the action. You don't rely on discipline. You rely on design. Pause here. What behavior feels hard because the environment sends mixed signals? The 12th boring habit is removing temptation before it appears. Most people test their willpower daily. They keep distractions close, then blame themselves for failing. But discipline is not resisting temptation. It's not needing to resist at all. High performers remove friction in advance. Phone in another room, apps deleted, notifications off. Not forever, just during focus. This is not restriction, it's respect. Ask yourself honestly, what distraction do I keep pretending I'll control later? Now it's a time for bonus. The 13th boring habit as a bonus tip is reviewing once a week briefly. Not analyzing life, not judging yourself, just asking 3 questions. What worked? What didn't? What stays simple? Weekly review turns mistakes into feedback. Without emotion, without review, people repeat the same week for years. Reflection compresses time. You don't need more effort. You need better awareness. Quiet thought to hold. What would change if last week actually taught you something? Now let's pull everything together. Look at what these habits have in common. They don't rely on mood. They don't require excitement. They don't demand intensity. They work on your worst days. That's the secret. Most advice is built for your best days, but your life is shaped by your worst ones. Boring habits protect progress when motivation disappears. They are quiet, invisible, unimpressive, and unstoppable. Here's the final mindset shift. Discipline is not about forcing yourself forward. It's about removing everything that pulls you backward. When nothing resists you, movement feels natural. You don't need to become a new person. You need fewer obstacles. That's it. That version of you wins quietly. If this video gave you clarity, let it stay with you. Like the video if it helped you see discipline differently. Subscribe if you want more calm, practical ideas like this. And comment below. Which boring habit will you start today? You don't need motivation. You need a few simple habits. Done again tomorrow.